Silvy. What do you got for us, Tyler?
All right, Caleb Williams last week took a step forward, probably played his best game as a Chicago Bear. But one thing that, Waddle, you continue to point out to us, and I think it's pretty apparent when we watch as well, is the lack and the struggles to hit the deep ball in this game. I'm going to give you over under 1.5 Caleb Williams completions of 20-plus yards.
Oh, yeah, he's got to go over. Do you realize I have his passing chart over here? Did I give that to you? His passing chart. Do you realize he has, for throws 10 yards and over, 12 for 41 with 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. 12 for 41, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. That's passes
That's
10 passes that are thrown 10 yards deep or deeper. And this is what's so remarkable is because he was so accurate in college with the deep ball, and I just think it's a matter of time. I'm going over. Yeah, definitely. Can I play that? Can I gamble at the
Probably
Yaki
cannot,
Casino?
but
Yeah, I'll go over with that. He's close. He'll get a couple.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to say it's going to go over, and I say the first play from scrimmage offensively, they're going to go play action and go deep, and he's going to connect. Re-rack that on Monday, and then play the highlight right after that to DJ Moore, get them both going. This is going to be a DJ Moore game, too.
Okay, good.
You know, that's how they're a reactionary crew
And if
up
it's
there.
not?
Oh, well, I think Waldron is not a proactive guy. He's a reactionary guy. And I think he reacts and based on the criticism, and he's done it every week, hasn't he? With Cole Kmet, with DeAndre Swift, and I think he's going to do it now with DJ.
I hope so.
Like, you should know that you should have DJ Moore involved. You have not. And you should know that Cole Kmet should be on the field more than Everett. But he wasn't in game one. You know, I think this is going to be a good game for DJ Moore. And to answer Tyler's question, he'll go over 1.5.
Boom. Over 1.5.
all right. Hopefully both of you are right on your predictions there.
We've got to be because they've got to make strides.
Speaking of DeAndre Swift, you just brought him up, Sylvie, and Swift is coming off his best game as a Bear. This is a putrid Panthers defense. What are your expectations for DeAndre Swift coming off of one of his best games as a Chicago Bear?
I just had a flashback. I think it was in 7th grade, 6th or 7th grade, or was it freshman year? My Spanish teacher used the word putrid all the time. Couldn't stand
Talking
it.
about your work?
It was a man.
Talking about
I
your
don't
work?
believe he's with us. It's a tragic story too.
No, I need to know the story now. Why? Why is he not with
I
us?
believe he was murdered.
By who?
I don't know.
Then how do you know he was
Unsolved
murdered?
mystery?
No, I think it was recent too. Google it. His last name was Mr. Strong. He was a Spanish teacher at Niles North, I believe. It was either Niles North or Old Orchard Junior High. I'm so old now. And I believe in the last 10 years he was murdered in Evanston.
Murdered.
But anyway, like he would always, and I didn't like him. And it wasn't me. I wasn't the one who did anything.
Are you sure?
But he would always
believe
use
him?
putrid.
Was he, was he talking about your work, your classwork?
Shouldn't he have been talking in Spanish then? Isn't that how you're supposed to learn Spanish? Just talk Spanish? How do you play better football? Play football?
That was so well picked up. I would have never thought it. You know, I am a little tired on a Friday, but, you know, that was good.
Mr. Strong was murdered by his roommate. Yes.
Was he?
Yes.
What
Mr.
year was
Clean?
that? I remember reading that.
I believe it's 20. Wait, where is that? 2004.
Okay, so it wasn't in the last 10 years. 20 years ago.
The segment got dark.
Your memory's as bad as mine is.
Well, I remembered what happened, and I remember
happened?
but that he was murdered. Was it in Evanston?
It was in Evanston, yes.
What happened?
2004.
What was the reason?
I don't know.
Oh, man. He was murdered, Waddle.
So probably a spat inside the house.
It does say he taught Spanish at Niles North High School. Niles North there, so.
Yes, right, exactly.
Bueno.
Looking for the
So what was the
details.
question about DeAndre Swift?
What are your expectations for DeAndre Swift on the heels of this conversation that we are having against a putrid Panthers defense?
That's what got me thinking.
I think
future.
we can get 100 out of him combined yardage. I don't know you're going to get 165 the way that you did in the win over the Rams, and I don't think he'll be as neutered as he was in the first 3 games of the season. I think he'll be somewhere in the middle. So I'll go. What'd I say, hundo?
Yeah, you know where
Let's
my
go
goal
85.
is. My goal is between 80 and 100 combined yards from scrimmage for DeAndre Swift. If he gets you that every game, he's going to probably reach 13 to 1500 yards on the season of combined yards from scrimmage.
I hope so. You paid him $8 million to do that.
Mr. Strong died of multiple stab wounds.
Oh, that's
What
a,
is
that's a
going
bad way to
on?
go, dude. Too.
What is there a good way to go?
That's a really
Yes, I'm with
Not,
Sylvie.
not in a
That's-
murder. There's no good way to go in a murder.
But that's especially painful.
Yeah, I'm with Sylvie. That's
How do you know?
I've watched these crime scene dramas.
Do you think a stabbing is more painful than a shooting?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I'm with Sylvie
for sure.
by far.
Yeah, your body probably lives longer, and
lead out. It's not.
yeah, like if you get shot in the head, you're probably
Exactly.
the
I
lights
just we're
go
doing a
out.
show with Quincy now. How the hell do you guys know this? Like, are you coroners?
Well, listen, it's probably above arson,
Oh my goodness.
but
Oh, geez.
it's not far behind.
Rank the most painful ways to get murdered.
But I think burning is high.
Yeah, that's not good. I need a drink.
This Friday.
The people in front of
What
the
a way to
studio
send
just,
people into the
just-
weekend.
They
ran.
just
They all
ran.
ran away.
They literally, they're like, hey, let's go check out ESPN. I'm sure they've got some good stuff on the Bears.
got to be painful to be burned to death.
And they took off on State
What?
Street. They hit the road.
All right, I'm done with Mr. Strong. I hope he's resting in peace right now, but I think we need to move on.
It's a putrid way to go.
How do you say putrid in Spanish, though? I think that's the best way to honor him. Is
That-
before we get out of here, you say the word putrid in Spanish.
He gave me a D.
No, you gave yourself
what?
a D.
No, that's not
You
true.
gave yourself a
I
D.
deserved a C. Like, it's
He
very
would have given you a C. You deserved a D. You gave yourself a D.
the 2 version, the Usted version, the Nosotros
The grades
version.
are the grades.
I don't like all those versions.
That's fine, but you gave yourself a D.
Putrido.
What's that?
Putrido.
What? That was the same. That
Putrido.
was different. Now, that's the
Spanish.
third time you've said it. You said it differently
Putrido.
all 3 times.
Putrido.
No, but you got to put the accent on the.
Podrido. Podrido.
You got to
Here you
put
go,
the
Sylvie.
accent
See,
on
Sylvie's
the
got
U.
it.
Podrido.
It's putrido.
Podrido. Podrido.
Listen to
You pull a Dorito.
listen to Tyler here.
I
Say it
almost
again.
was a Spanish minor.
Say it again.
Almost.
Yeah. Then they handed me a novel and I walked out of class.
Why? Because you had to pee?
No, because I was like, I'm not reading I can't read a novel in English. How the hell am I supposed to do it in Spanish?
I appreciate your standing by your morals.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
So
If I could shoot you with an arrow, where should I shoot you?
That
upper
would be
body, lower
painful.
body. That would be a pretty brutal way to go.
Would that kill you? With the
where it
arrow
hits you.
in the heart,
Oh,
probably.
yeah, well, of course you would bleed out.
But other than the heart, you're probably just, it's
If
probably
they shot
just a
you through
wound.
the brain, you would.
Want to know one of the most stunning days of work I've ever had here? It was during the holidays, and I walked in, and I just see a giant bow and arrow in this little ABC 7. Were you there that day?
Chief, was
it
it
was
Chief?
Barstool Chiefs, yeah. And I guess he was going like arrow hunting downstate or something after
Bow
the
hunting,
show.
not
Yeah.
arrow hunting. It's called bow hunting.
Bow hunting.
Yeah.
It was so weird. Like the first time,
That'd be like calling it bullet hunting if you had a gun.
I
You know
think
what
it was
I'm
the
saying?
first time I'd ever done a show with Chief in studio. And I never put together that he would just have a bow. Like,
And I think someone
like
dropped
maybe
it
a
off,
hockey
too.
stick. Like I could see that he had a hockey stick.
Sure.
He's a hockey guy. Maybe he was going over to Johnny's afterwards. But there he was with a bow. And I'm like, what's going on here, Chief? Crazy.
Yeah, that's one of the more rattled moments of my entire time here. All right, I want to ask you guys: is this a must-win game for the Bears, and not in the context
Yes,
of
yes.
like the record?
Yes.
2-3 you can recover from,
Yes.
but can you
Yes.
recover from the loss of a
No,
Panthers?
this is as much of a must win as last week's was, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, because I think the building reels. I think you will have a reeling building if you lose, because something will have really catastrophically gone wrong.
Listen, it's one thing, and it's not acceptable, and it was a must win last week. It's one thing if Matt Stafford comes in here and beats you. If the Red Rifle comes in here and leaves with a dub, it's going to sting. It's going to more than sting. So, yeah, I would say this one definitely is, using your logic from last week, this is also a must win.
Yes.
I don't believe that's the case next week in London against the Jags for other reasons, but I do believe that's the case this week.
But do you really feel, I know what you're saying, but if they don't win next week too, and they're 3-3 at the bye with that schedule staring, if they want to, from a playoff standpoint,
Yeah.
if they want to get to the postseason, it's fairly unlikely
Very damaging.
to be 3-3 with that schedule ahead of them if they don't beat the Jaguars, considering the shape they're in.
Yes. Which is, yeah, I mean,
Got to be 4-2 at the bye.
that's what you're hoping for. I actually now have them. When I told you I have them losing to the Jags, which would make them 3-3, and then I just changed my pick against the Commanders. I got them 3-4 3 weeks from now. Does that make me an ass?
What, now you have them 3-4 or at the
we just
beginning of the
did.
year?
No. At the beginning of the year, I had them at 3-3. At the beginning of the year, I had them losing to the Jags in London. I had them picked exactly how
But
it's
are you
happened.
picking them to win now based on what the Jags are doing?
No, I'm picking them to lose in London.
Oh, so you do have them 3-4.
Yeah.
Oh, they're and you still have them winning 9
Yeah.
after a 3-4 start?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Real quick, looking around the NFL, this is a good NFL slate this weekend, too. Some really good games. But I ask you guys this one: which one is more intriguing to you, the Bills and the Texans, or the Ravens and the Bengals?
I think what's more intriguing is Ravens Bengals. I think because it's almost a must win for the Bengals. And I don't know, the Ravens are really, really good, but are they going to keep going where 1 week they really impress you and then the next week they sort of lay an egg?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there are more storylines around the Cincinnati Baltimore game versus the Buffalo Houston game. You know, and that Buffalo Houston game, or excuse me, the Bengals Ravens game is a division game as well, and they always, get after it, the two of them, when they meet up. So I like that one as well.
All right, there's Aki's A-list. Again, if you miss it or anything, and you never know which lane this is going to go in.
No,
You can check that out on YouTube, youtube.com/@Waddle and Silvy. When you're there, make sure you subscribe.